had no idea about how innovative the flappers were in the 1920s until we got to live like them for a day.
I mean, literally. We went back in time, and to get back,
We had to learn some things first. We found ourselves outside a building.
and we didn't know we were flappers until we looked at our clothing.
Compared to the early decades, the flappers' dresses were looser and the hemlines went way up.
See, the flappers got their name from an artist named John Hill Jr.
He saw young women dancing and drew them as girls wearing boots that were unbuckled.
The unbuckled boots would flap when they danced.
Hence the name flappers. For the first time, women's clothing emphasized movement and expressed a sense of liberation. We found a couple of newspapers on the ground with news about a nearby speakeasy.
Of course we had heard about speakeasies.
They were underground bars where people like the flappers could buy alcohol even under prohibition.
Gods. Somebody told me they've killed a man once.
The man? Heard that he was connected with the government in the war. I went.
They want your sweet, innocent girls to take to booze so they can be enticed into honky-tonks by slick-haired vultures who prey on the flower of American womanhood. I say alcohol must go.
This dilemma tore the United States apart for decades, until in 1919 the nation voted the 18th Amendment to the Constitution into law, prohibiting the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages.
Prohibition was started to stop crime in the United States.
But it only served to make crime worse.
We knew the mafia had come from Prohibition.
They were heavily connected with the underground trade of alcohol.
And we also knew some about Al Capone.
In the second paper, there was an article about him.
The story said that he was a top man in the mafia who had organized the St. Valentine's Day massacre.
That was when he and his men dressed up like police officers and murdered a rival gang. Unfortunately for Capone, the gang's leader hadn't been with them.
I guess that Al Capone ordered it. And I would say I'm sure that he did. Without anybody ever telling me, I know that he did.
When we finally arrived at the speakeasy, we knocked on the door, but nobody answered it.
Then we looked on the ground and found a notice warning that everyone that there was going to be a police raid for alcohol at 4 o'clock. The time was actually 3:57.
So, to avoid questioning from the cops, we ran.
Oh boy, did we run.
While we were running, we were looking for a dance hall or some other place where the flappers typically would be.
We wanted to see the flappers do the Charleston or the Lindy Hop.
Both dances incorporate flying legs and wide swinging motions with the arms.
And both dances were very popular at the time.
Their dance style was completely different from the formal dances of the 1910s.
It shattered the mold of dance because it was considered very risque for a young woman.
Their movements matched the way they dressed. They were liberating and free. When we finally got home, we realized what a hard environment the flappers had lived in. I mean, gangs, Prohibition, and Al Capone.
They were struggling all the time to present an image of a freer woman.
The 19th Amendment, which granted women suffrage and was passed in 1919, helped them to reaffirm that image.
They were a new breed of woman who demanded she be taken seriously.
They smoked and wore makeup and shattered the perspective that everyone had had for women for too long.
And they succeeded in breaking out of that mold.
They were innovators in their thinking, and in turn they paved the way for powerful women and freer thinking.
The flappers were truly an innovation in American history.